Welcome to Music and Medicine. Welcome to Music and Medicine. Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. I'm so excited and ecstatic today to be joined by Brandon Brown. He and his collective are basically taking the world by storm. He hails out of Memphis. He's going to tell us about his upbringing as well as working as a bassist and being on movies like Hustle and Flow. He's also worked with Stevie Wonder and a whole bunch of greats, and I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome.
Man, thanks for having me. Very much.
So we always like to roll back the clock and just talk about how you chose bass as your instrument and then came up with this whole idea of putting your home band together.
Well, great question. Well, I would like to say the bass chose me. I started playing drums when I was 2 years old and was just so fixated on being a drummer until I saw and heard a song called Overjoyed by Victor Wooten. He redid it. It's a Stevie Wonder song, but he covered it on the bass. And I cried.
Wow.
And I was like, I have to learn how to do that. And from seeing that and seeing Jermaine Jackson from the Jackson 5, that made me want to become a bass player. So I started learning the bass. Victor Wooten actually called my house when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
And telling me I made the camp. He had this bass nature camp. And the first year I signed up for it and didn't make it. I was crying, so devastated. Then the next year I signed up for it, my dad was like, Victor Wooten's on the phone for you. And I'm like, no way. And it's really him.
Right.
And he was like, I was 16 at the time, so I had to have a guardian. He was like, well, we need you to get your parents' permission and we want you to come to the camp. It was just so awesome, and I learned so much directly from the person that inspired me to play the bass. And also Jermaine Jackson too, because I'm currently their music director, so I've been with the Jacksons for a long time, so I've thankfully been able to directly learn from Victor Wooten and Jermaine Jackson both, which is why I started playing the bass.
Sure. So we had to unpack that just a little bit because you slipped a lot in there. So tell us about meeting Jermaine Jackson and probably obviously somebody you also looked up to.
Yeah.
And then becoming their musical director.
Yeah, that was, well, I got that gig with the Jacksons. I moved, just another little backstory, I was in a band called New Genesis that moved here from Memphis, Tennessee back in 2007. That band was gonna be playing with Michael, but he passed away before we got a chance to do it. So his brothers said they wanted to use the band that he wanted to use, so that's how I got with that gig. So I have to throw that in there too, because I feel as Michael is my angel, and that's what like kind of brought me to discovering Jermaine, to discovering the bass. So anyway, getting there and playing with them on all these different shows for so many years, earned their respect and gained their respect, and they asked me to be the music director when things changed. So I've been with them as MD for like maybe 5 years now, which is just such a blessing and a treat to learn, like I said, directly from these guys. And it's been cool to be around Jermaine. And people don't know how bad he is on the bass.
Most of us do, but like, some of them may not.
Oh my goodness. So it's a true honor. It's a true honor.
And you're very modest, but tell us about some of the artists that type of opportunity have also opened you up the opportunity to work with.
Well, when I was 19, I was playing bass with Isaac Hayes, which was the most, he taught me how to write music. Me and my band New Genesis, he gave us this awesome formula. It's like, hey, this is what you gotta do. And so again, learning directly from the people, you know, I've been so blessed to get the information from the source. So Isaac Hayes. Then you got Boyz II Men from there when I moved out here. Then Leona Lewis, Jessica Simpson, Black Eyed Peas, New Kids on the Block, freaking Fergie, 3-6 Mafia, Project Pat, Lil White, Fraser Boy for all my Memphis people. Let's see, Yo Gotti. I played on some Chris Brown records, Megan Trainor records. It's a bunch of credits, thankfully, but I've been able to tour Keyshia Cole, American Idol tour. I know I'm forgetting some other people too, but I've been blessed to be with a lot of great people, great artists, people who love music, people who appreciate hard work and being professionals.
Sure.
Yeah.
And another element of your modesty comes across where I know you're the bassist, musical director, but tell us about your collective that you put together, because now your band is just blowing up. Not to mention performing all the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Tonight.
So the Brandon Brown Collective, better known as the BBC, we started in 2016.
Right, and I'm going to emphasize that for them, the Brandon Brown Collective.
Yeah.
Just because I know you've been slipping it in there.
Yeah, we got a lot of different fans.
Yes.
But we started it in 2016,
Right.
and it features my brother Stanley Randolph as a producer and drummer, and the lead vocalist is my boy Mackenzie, my brother. Mackenzie, he actually sings now for MPG as well. Like, so he's essentially standing where Prince would have been standing, right now with his band. So, which is really cool. We also have, it features 2 guitar players, Kyle Bowden, who plays with Stevie as well, who moved here with us together in 2007.
Right.
Then
and Stevie Wonder.
And Stevie Wonder.
I know you're being very modest.
And Stevie Wonder as well, yeah. And so the band is full of great musicians. We got the Smoking Horns. We got Kiki Kite. You got God. It's two young ladies who are incredible singers, artists in their own right. They sing in the band, but they also are artists.
Right.
A group called God, Good As Women Deserve,
Nice.
And they are incredible. And so I'm happy to be able to see an idea expand and to have different branches and different things that are happening, and everyone is doing well. And we just got back from Amsterdam and Greece playing our first festivals out there,
Right.
which has been really incredible. And to be able to play our original music. I've been to Amsterdam before, but I never played a song I wrote there. So that was nice to have that feeling for the first time, and looking forward to doing it many more times.
Right. And then your first movie project, even before you were 20.
Yeah, It's Hot Out Here for a Pimp. That's the song that won an Oscar for the Hustle and Flow soundtrack.
Yes.
And that movie was shot in Memphis.
Yeah.
And I had just started working with Juicy J and DJ Paul around that time. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my boy Crazy Mike. I call him Genius Mike. He's their engineer, and we went to middle school together.
Right.
And through high school, and he ended up calling. That's how I got with them, is through my boy Mike. He called and said, "Man, we need some bass down here."
Right.
And we just ended up hitting it off. So it's been great. And I'm still working with Juice to this day, like we always doing tracks.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
The show's called Music and Medicine. When you hear those words, what does it mean to you?
Well, music and medicine, they fit so well together because music is healing.
Right.
It can be, depending on what you're listening to.
Yeah.
Music can also not be too healing. It can be detrimental to you as well, but we won't get into too much into that. But I think that music is good for your soul, like depending on what the person that's like being used to convey it. Like for me, whenever I do shows, and I do like improv music. Like we want no cover songs, just straight off the top. And I always tell the audience, thanks for letting us be vulnerable with y'all, because I'm being used. I'm being a vessel. It's just coming through me and it's touching the people. So I know that's what Pastor Funk is about, is healing. So I believe music and medicine can coexist if it's used in the right way.
Sure. And I know part of your journey into wellness has also been a spiritual one.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know that you've gone into the ministry. Talk to us about that decision and transition.
Well, Pastor Funk is my artist name.
Yeah.
An alias of mine. And my father is a pastor.
Right.
So growing up in Memphis, a lot of people in my family are preachers, singers, and teachers, musicians. It's just like, it's what it is. It's in my blood. So I actually was preaching back in Memphis before I left. I accepted my calling to the ministry when I was a kid. I was about 20 years old, preached a couple of times. Then I moved out here, and it was so funny, a couple of churches that I was playing at, like when I first moved out here, I would not tell them that I was an ordained minister, but they would just see it on me, and I ended up preaching at that church for like a special servers or something. But the ministry, it's like, but I'm a funk star, so it's different. I don't really go by the traditional religious parts of my ministry. I think like Pastor Funk, I'm here to be on the front lines of the people, where the people are, meeting the people where they are. Like with my music and with this light that I have, I know that is blessing people, because that's one of the reasons why I choose to do this so much, because I know people are being blessed by it. And I feel and know that I was chosen to do that, I have this gift so I can give it back to people. You know what I mean? So Pastor Funk is that, like, I do have a word, but I also got the music too, to go along with it.
Sure. And speaking of a word, I know each day you have an incantation, and slowing it down, tell us what your incantation was for today.
I will. Well, for those who don't know what incantations are, they're basically spells that you put under yourself. We all are under some type of spell, whether we know it or not. 2020 can let us know we are, because we all stayed at home and they told us to stay home. So we're under things that are beyond our control, but we can take back control by thinking about what we want and focusing on what we want rather than the things that we don't want. So an incantation that I use, it comes from different things that I've learned and things that that were given to me from the Spirit, and just put all together. So this is what I say. Every day before I touch my phone, getting all this stuff, I say, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Today, I open myself up to unexpected joy, blessings, abundance, love, opportunities, friendship, and money with ease, comfort, and joy. God's wealth is circulating in my life. His wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All of my needs, wants, and desires are met instantaneously through infinite intelligence. For I am one with God, and God is everything. And I imagine the abundance in my life, and I feel so grateful. And so it is, and it could be no otherwise, and I rejoice because of it.
Right. Wow. And that's a sermon right there.
Every day.
I so appreciate you being willing to come and share, and we so appreciate that, hearing out of, we like to call y'all babes, are true. I know you heard that from grandma and things like that.
Yeah.
Wisdom and knowledge, and that whole concept also of sowing into others through the music and the gifts and the talents that you have. We think it's so powerful. And
Thank you.
I know you're performing tonight. Give us a shameless plug for where that is.
I'm playing at Bar Bakari. I call it Bakari. Some people call it Bakari, but in Silver Lake.
Right.
It's great food, great drinks, and great music all night. My brother and manager, The Burgundy, is presented by them, and it's really, really a fun night every Friday night.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You heard it here. We love to really highlight and showcase talent that is literally blowing up here in the city of Los Angeles, but he's from Memphis, and you hear the roots. You certainly hear the wisdom as well as the spirituality that flows through this young man, Brandon Brown. Please check him out with the Brandon Brown Collective. They have phenomenal music on YouTube. It's just so incredible to sort of see this group of singers as well as musicians all performing sort of circle style, completely freestyle, improv. I just love it, and musicality is just exquisite. So thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time,
I
music,
appreciate it. Thanks
and
for
spirituality.
having me. Oh man, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Much blessings.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. Same to you.